welcome. Why is this thing overexposed all of a sudden? Come on. Anyway, welcome to the Gump Report. Now, before I get started, thank you for looking at Slammiversary, and thank you for looking at that Raw video. Thank you. I didn't expect anything from the Raw video. I thought it was going to be 10 people, and I think it's over 40. And that's cool. I know that's not much at all. Many people will say that you ain't doing anything. You ain't doing shit. But for me, I'm glad that anybody's willing to look at it and even comment. So I am thankful. Flat out. Now, one of my subscribers, I believe his name's Eric. I can't remember right now. He asked, while that video was up, dude, you must do a Gump report on Kieran Cross. He said, you got to do a Gump report on Kieran Cross. And I said in the comments, I'm going to do one on Kieran Cross and Keith Lee. So this is the video. This is getting uploaded. Today is Tuesday. It is immediately going to be uploaded the minute I edit it. So this will probably be the only Gump report you're going to get for today, because tomorrow I got to do NWA Power. I got to do Dynamite. Then I got to do Impact. That's a lot. So this might be the only Gump report you're getting because you got the Raw one. This is it. Okay? I hope you understand. Now, let's put this in perspective. The reason I was asked to do this was because of the Nikki Ash. Because they're calling her Nikki Ash, not ASH. Almost a superhero. No. They're calling her Ash. That's how this girl is being called. The kicker for me, and I saw one person, one person have to comment of just a expiration point. And what did they leave? A period. Yeah, not expiration point, a period on their comment. And I said, are you angry or you happy? And pretty much they did the OFC, which I had to look it up because I forgot that it means, of course, I'm happy. And I asked them why. Why are you happy? Pretty much Nikki Cross has got nothing. Looks like Rhea Ripley has got nothing. And that's what I'm going to go with before I go to Keith Lee and Kieran Cross, because I got to. This was all started because of that. Because you look on Sunday. Look on Money in the Bank. Nikki Cross winning the ladder match looked horrible. All those women worked their butts off to a certain extent, the best they could. And they just let her climb up on one of them. I believe one of them's back. I'm not even remembering. I don't even think she had someone on their back. She just climbed up and no one tried to stop her. And she just grabbed the damn the briefcase, not the title. It's pretty much a title. Pretty much the briefcase is a title. Unless they don't want you to have it, you got an automatic guaranteed title, which you got. Then you think of Rhea Ripley. And I said in my Money in the Bank review, who made that match work? It wasn't Charlotte Flair. As I said, Charlotte can get only herself over. Is she a bad worker? No. But does not mean she's able to get herself over and the other person over. Usually they have to do that for her. That's the reason why she's so exclusive to only challenging and dealing with only very few people. Think about it. She now has, and I kept saying the butterfly belt, the Divas Championship. She had 2 runs with the Divas Championship and 10 runs with SmackDown Raw, 5 from each. She's done 12 reigns, not even counting NXT. I believe she did 1 there or 2. But essentially, she's done, and they only recognize 12, irrelevant reigns. Only time they've been relevant is when she's worked with Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Asuka. Those are the only ones that she's ever done anything substantial with. Her father, Ric Flair, could work with anyone and get a classic match out of them, even if they're not that great, because he knew how to make them look good. She can't. So Rhea Ripley had to bust her ass. Going to Raw, she does it again. And it makes it even worse that when you see the situation, she could have just dropped the damn title on Raw. Because they didn't want to do it on Money in the Bank because it's a D show, a D pay-per-view. They could have easily done it there. when you look at anyone who comes up from NXT that Vince cares enough about or doesn't give a damn and just makes them look bad, this is what you get. Now, let's go to what this is all about. Keith Lee shows up. I'm doing him first. We haven't seen him in at least 5 to 6 months, I think. Wait a minute, when did he show up? In June? Wait a minute, when did he leave? It was in January, February. I think it was almost near February, somewhere in between January 10th to almost January 25th, I think he left. He just disappeared. Been gone for more than 6 months. And now he shows up in his own home state of Texas. He's a Texas man. He comes out, and you would think, after hearing Lashley say, I'm doing a damn open challenge, even though he didn't call it an open challenge. That's what you got. And you think, oh no, they're doing this now? Wouldn't it be better to wait? That's what I was thinking when I found out, because I didn't see all of Raw. What I did, and I said this in the video last night, I was going to watch the Stone Cold podcast, which I did. It wasn't bad with Kevin Nash. It wasn't that bad. But Kevin is Kevin. He don't give a damn. He thinks of this. But at least he's honest about it. At least as much as he wants to be. He screwed people. He's honest about it. At least enough. But by near 10 o'clock, something told me I should look at Raw. I don't know what it was. It was like a premonition, like precognitance. Something said in the back of my head, there's a train wreck about to happen. Look at Raw. Pretty much something told me to look at Raw. And I saw Sheamus wearing that face mask and shaking his hand like he got bit in the hand or something. Then they showed the Coronation advertisement. And I thought, well, it's going to be maybe at the end of the night, because there's no way they're not going to do it. So I turned it off, went back to that, and then just before, what was it, 10:35, 10:40, I flip it on because maybe it would show. And then you got this damn match. And I'm going, I don't want to see this shit. I just saw it at Money in the Bank. So I turned it off again. Went back to Kevin Nash. But something again. And it was near 11 o'clock. I think it was 10:57 or 58. Something told me, switch back. And I did. And I see this. I see Nikki Cross winning the title. That's all I saw of Raw. So when it came to Keith Lee and Kieran Cross, I didn't see it. I didn't know what was going on until I looked at like JD and I looked at Just Alex a little bit, and one of my subscribers asked for it, like Eric, and then I had to go and check it out. And when I saw it was only 6 minutes, and that's what I was thinking before I said all this about Raw. You're actually going to have Keith Lee now challenge for this? Are they really going to be stupid enough to let him win it? Or are they going to do some type of screwy ending? I thought maybe a screwy ending. I thought there would be something screwy because they're going to make this about Keith Lee dealing with a Bobby Lashley, because we didn't know if it was going to be not Brock Lesnar or Goldberg. We didn't know. Many people have already known and speculated that Goldberg was coming back. Others have heard and speculated that Brock Lesnar was not coming back, so you didn't know. So we thought, I'm sure a few people thought, oh, damn, this is going to be good. And I thought, oh, damn, they're going to have to do some screwy ending because it's too soon to even do this. 6 minutes. No interference from MVP. Nothing. He gets his butt whooped. He comes back on Raw after nearly or a little more than 6 months being away. In his own hometown or his own home state. If it's not his town, it's the state of Texas. You couldn't even let this man get this after being off TV for so long. And the match looked so clunky. He's not the type of person to move slowly. I saw his documentary and I've seen some of the stuff he did on YouTube. The guy has incredible agility for his size. There are not many men that can do that have the muscle tone, that can physically jump around like that. Very few could. The Undertaker's one of them. Keith Lee's another. And I think Bam Bam Bigelow's another one. The Big Boss Man was another one. Very rarely do you see really big guys like that can move around like a bullet. And he's one of them, and they forced him to slow down his style. Been gone all this time. Speculation that he wasn't brought back because he refused to lose weight. I don't know if that's true or not. But it doesn't really matter if he lost weight or not, because I didn't expect him to ever get a fair shake because of NXT getting screwed by Vince. And I will have my thoughts on that in a few minutes after Kieran Cross. But this is what you get. A lot of people angry about that. It gets worse. Kieran Cross comes up with the NXT title around his waist. Music, okay. A little bit of smoke, okay. No Scarlet Bordeaux. What the fuck? I know they're going to separate them, but it would have been better. This would have been smart. If you're going to separate them, let them stay together for at least a couple of weeks to a month to let people get used to him with his wife and make it mean something. No, he comes out. He faces Jeff Hardy. My allergies are messing with me, which pisses me off even more. Sore throat here, then it goes here, here, then I sneeze. Yup, that's how my allergies work. Once it hits me here, my throat itches here, then the itch, instead of going from both sides constant, it goes right, left, right, here, chew. Annoying as hell, even with medicine. And you know the reason why I just said that? Because this match was irrelevant. You know why I just spoke about my allergies instead of speaking about how angry I could be and am about Kieran Cross getting screwed? Because it was an irrelevant thing. Because they just made him irrelevant. They just fucked. I see it like this, guys. How you perceive each brand is shown on television. If anyone on Raw goes to NXT, it's a big deal. If anybody goes to SmackDown on NXT, it's a big deal. But now, when anyone from NXT, particularly their top champion, their top talent, goes to Raw, they're considered nothing but a joke. He had a reign of a year. He got hurt before that, and he had a good run with he won the title, got hurt a little afterward, gone, comes back. A whole year working his ass off to get back to the championship and do good matches with good talking points. He's a New Yorker, which makes me happy. It shows that New York is being represented. But the guy busts his ass with his wife, who is a damn gorgeous woman, but not a great wrestler. But she knows that she's damn gorgeous and she uses that to her advantage. She's over more as his heater than anything else. And not only did he separate them, and that means when she goes wrestling, she's going to look horrid. But now, her husband, who got hurt by giving his best, whether you like Kieran and Cross or Killer Cross as he once was, tick-tock, baby, tick-tock, he has now been screwed over. 100%. That made no sense. To kill why? This is what many people are thinking. Why? Why would Vince kill his winning streak? He's never been defeated. Why would you do it? Why would you go through that? You could have done something special with him. Samoa Joe had a winning streak that he was undefeated. Asuka had a winning streak, undefeated. And Vince made sure each of them lost that every single time. It makes no sense why. That's what many people think. But I already know, and a few people like myself already understand the situation. And I have my thoughts on it right now. Vince McMahon allowed his son-in-law, Paul Levesque, to start a developmental after they closed FCW. He didn't expect anything big from the NXT. It was like Tough Enough at one point. Then it transitioned into an actual promotion, like a developmental promotion. It took about a couple of years at first, because NXT at first was not like that. Remember, Naomi debuted on SmackDown in 2012. NXT didn't get really started until 2009. So they had almost 2.5 years of when NXT was still just something interesting to bring some people in. Not until about 2012 to 13 did it really become real. And people really began to like it because Paul Levesque, Triple H, booked it like the WWF in the golden age to the Attitude Era. I say it again. The 1990s, early to the end of the 1990s. He has created a WWF/WWE promotion between a 10-year period of like when Raw got started in 94 to when the Monday Night Wars were over in 1999 to 2000. That is what he created. That is what people liked. But Vince, being Vince, did not like that because his product is nothing like that. And anyone that's sent up to the main roster, he can't allow to keep their personas because this is only one thing, guys. This is what this is really about. You create a real company like WWE. You do what Vince did and made it so great, but you change the product after several years. Your son-in-law creates a developmental because the FCW one, which is still being used, was not good enough anymore. Wanted to change into something different to help make WWE better. So he does it. He based it on what I'm talking to the person who would be a Vince McMahon, what you created between the early 90s, like 1994, going into the early 2000s, maybe 2000, maybe 2001, but really 1999, between 1994 to 99 is when they got really hot. I say around 2000, you could say that. That would be better. From 94 to 2000, that is where they really developed everything that truly defined wrestling, that everyone remembers, even today. And he's produced it. And Vince, he's not going to get rid of a Paul Levesque. He's not going to say stop because he sees that some of these people got something, but there's no way he's going to let that just go to the main roster. You know why? What a real promoter would do, if you were a promoter, is the developmental makes it, you throw it onto your show at first for the maybe 2, 3, or 4 months. Let their gimmicks that they developed in the developmental be tested. Because sometimes the testing works out. Because if you let them go for like 2 or 3 months, if the gimmick works, you let them continue it. If it doesn't work, you can always switch it up. But Vince refuses to do that. Because when it comes down to it, everyone's going to realize that the current roster that Vince has created since he became a traded company is nothing compared to the developmental. That is the reason why he's done this to Paul Levesque, his own son-in-law. I am sure Triple H is very upset right now. This is Tuesday. I am definitely sure he's angry. So is, you gotta understand this. Road Dogg is there. Shawn Michaels is there. Abyss is there. The, what is it? I can't believe, Joseph Park. I haven't thought about him so long. All those people are there who are experts, who understand the psychology of wrestling. A lot of people from different promotions, like Impact Wrestling / TNA, like MLW, like NWA, they're actually working at the company in NXT, many of them. And when it comes down to it, they got to be angry right now because Kieran Cross has literally been jobbed out to Jeff Hardy, who has done nothing for months. They couldn't even let him go up against Bobby Lashley. That would make sense. If he had done Bobby Lashley instead of Keith Lee, it would be champion versus champion. And there wouldn't be nothing wrong with that. They could have closed the show with champion versus champion. NXT champion versus the WWE champion. They could have made something special out of that. No. They made him job out to the lowest person on the totem pole right now due to the fact of how Jeff Hardy's been drinking on and off, and he's lost a lot of favor. He's still got a contract. He renewed it. He got screwed because you know how they do their contract, and this is what you get. This is all that is about. Vince refusing to let Paul Levesque's vision of what Vince once created become popular on the main roster. Now, this is my thought. What should Paul Levesque do? Not the game. Paul Levesque, the wrestler who may once in a while actually put the boots on, because right now he's about 50 now, 51. I think he's almost 50. But he legitimately, he needs to make a decision. Now, this won't be something popular, but I'm going to say this. I understand Paul loves the company. He loves his wife, and I'm sure he does care for Vince. But when it comes down to it, this is not the first time this has happened. You have over 20 to 30 talent from NXT since, 2014 into 15, when they started becoming popular. Over 6 to 5 years, we've had people come from the roster of NXT that have gone to the main roster of SmackDown and Raw. And when this happened, you see how they've been treated. Many of them have made requests to go back to NXT. Let's go through some of them, shall we? Rusev, who is now Miro on AEW. You got Aleister Black, who just got released, who was beginning to have a storyline that they just dropped him like a sack of potatoes. They got rid of Zelina Vega. Then she came back like an idiot. That's what a lot of people think. And I've already said that either she's doing it because of memory of father, or she really loves the company, and now they're going to fuck her because of it. The crowd will never like her again. Ember Moon, she's messed up. Kairi Sane, she never got that far and was hurt by a Nia Jax who's protected by the company. And that shows you how bad the company is. They only protect the ones you need to protect. Because Nia Jax has hurt at least a dozen women, at least 1 or 2 men. And she's going to hurt someone else again. So many people from the roster. You got Kevin Owens, who's gone through it up and down multiple times. You got Finn Balor, who couldn't stand it anymore, went back to NXT, rebuilt himself, did great, and guess what? They brought him back, and he's now doing exactly the same thing as a face, smiling. I'm not going to smile because my teeth are too crooked. But you get my point. So many stars that they never gave a full opportunity just to let the stories and the gimmicks they created and characters created to really try. Vince refuses to do it. And you got all these people over a 6-year period, over 20 or 30 people easily have gone up to the main roster who have either been released because they really didn't do anything with them. They got released because they begged and demanded for it. They got fired. And like Aleister Black, they were stupid enough not to check his contract. And then you got the last people there, like a Ricochet, like a Cedric Alexander. You got all those guys who are barely being seen, or if they're not even being seen at all, they're sitting in the back just waiting, trying to pitch stuff to the writing team if they can, and the writing team saying no because Vince doesn't want it. You go to Vince and he still says no. Essentially, people either got fired, got released, begged for their release, or sitting in the back doing absolutely nothing. If I were Paul Levesque right now, going back to him, as much as I love the company, I would basically give my resignation to Vince. I honestly, after now Kieran Cross, they built this man like Asuka. He was that damn dominant. Yeah, not everyone liked him, but when it comes down to it, he was well built with a beautiful partner that made it mean something. He won straight up through strength, skill to a certain extent, as many people would say. I think he's got great skill because I always like Killer Cross has always been good. They just never did anything with him. And now he's this. I leave. I would give my resignation. I would tell Vince, look, I'm giving my 30-day notice. I'm leaving. I'm giving my 90-day notice, actually. My 90-day notice. I'm sure he's not going to be allowed to just go off. He probably has his rematch clause. Well, not rematch clause. His non-compete clause of his contract. He's still a contracted worker for WWE. So even though he doesn't wrestle anymore, he probably has a 90-day non-compete. So if he leaves and they allow it, he won't be able to do anything for 3 months. You know where he needs to go? Counting if they listen, because this is what it comes down to. If they listen, they could easily change the direction of everything they got. Impact Wrestling. Think about it. Paul Levesque leaves WWE. Has to wait 3 months because probably his contract says you can't do nothing for 3 months. He leaves. He doesn't go to AEW. He doesn't go to NWA. He goes to Impact Wrestling. Right now, even with the troubles they have, they're still a good promotion. They're not in AEW, but they're old enough to be second in the United States. That means something, even though they're highly diminished, traveling from one network to another, gaining nothing. If he goes there, and if the people in the back are not so fucking narrow-minded and stupid to stop him from doing what he did with NXT, he could repackage Impact Wrestling as the new NXT. Literally. And I'm sure people are going to say, dude, no, we don't want NXT as Impact. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You want a style that easily compares to what the WWE was in its golden to attitude era age. That is one of the reasons why TNA was so good. It was an alternative, yes. It had the 6-sided ring, yes. It had a great roster of talent. But it was what WWE was not anymore because they'd gone past the attitude era. They were ruthless aggression. They weren't from that anymore. And TNA was. That's why it was so damn popular. It wasn't the fact that it was anti-culture of WWE. It was WWE during its golden and attitude era ways. Remember, the golden age of regular wrestling. Look what NWA was. When it got started, part of NWA. It was NWA TNA before it broke away in 2016 and became its own separate brand. NWA is considered golden age wrestling. I'm not saying it was great back then. It was still a mess. But it was golden age. Then when they broke away in 2006 and went on their own path, that was the innovation for the knockouts. That was the innovation for the X Division. You had people in the world title scene you would never see in WWE/WWF. You would never see them. They were smaller guys. Look at Jay Lethal. He was champion. Look at Ric Flair. Yes, he was booked more correctly. Look at most of what was being done. I'm not saying it was great because a lot of older stars from WWE were really fucking things up in Impact Wrestling/TNA. They cared more about getting this. They did have some good booking with them there. Some. But when they weren't there, when it was only the stars they grew, and they innovated with the 6-sided ring, with the, King of the Mountain. They also did that. Ultimate X. All those different things. They weren't perfect, but they were different. But the thing is, that's exactly what the WWE, things that are different, that were anti-culture, that were something that we could grab onto or gravitate to. That's what we're talking about here. Vince refuses to go back to what he once was. Being either an extremely old man at 74 probably now, or worse, it's not about his age. It's about his ego. That he sees his son-in-law doing what he used to do and made it work and giving all those people to him to just put on a roster and just see if they work. This is one thing that I gotta say this. Nothing against JD or Just Alex or Solomonster. They've never said this. Because they always say, you throw them on there, their money, they will always work. No. I say this because it's true. If you build people up from a proper promotion, that is a developmental. You throw them onto your roster of your company. They're not going to succeed. You have to have a testing phase. You got to let them be out there and let their gimmicks and their characters begin to win over the crowd. If it doesn't work, that's when you change it. That's when you know they succeeded or not, by letting them at least try. Now, I know JD sometimes says this, but he makes it very clear. There will always be money. Just Alex, the same thing. There will always be money. It is no guarantee that any character that is developed in any promotion that is for developmental, for any regular promotion that is top notch, will always work. Out of 100 people that go up, 50 men, 50 women, you might get 30 or 40 of them succeeding, and the remaining 70 or 60 have to be repackaged again. That's the way it really works. 30 or 40 of them get some level of success. Lower card, get a level of success. Mid card, get a level of success. Upper card will get a level of success. Main event will get a level of success. And in between that, you let them try to develop to go from each one, and then better yet, come back down to rebuild themselves, to give interest not only in the company but in their characters. That is real development. NXT had that to a certain extent. You go up, you go down, you rebuild again. That's what they did with Ciampa. That's what they did with Gargano. That's what they did. Robin and Killer Cross. He came back. He had to work his way back up. Look what they did with Finn Balor. What do you expect from his promotion? That is WWE in the golden age and the Attitude Era. And that's what people really want. And if Paul left, which he should, I truly say this. I know Paul Levesque would never look at me. He would never listen to me. But if he was in front of me, I would tell you, Paul, look, thank you. You're a damn good wrestler, okay? You understand the business. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're being blind. I know you're loyal to your wife. I know you're loyal to your father-in-law. But what have you gained in the last 6 years? Every person that you sent up, they have destroyed their characters and rebuilt them. You can't tell me that it happens and it's all right. No, it's not. Because simply put, none of the people you developed has never even gotten a chance to try their character and have a testing phase. Come on, you got to admit it. It's very rare to even allow to keep their characters within the first few weeks. A few months, yeah, I can understand that if it doesn't get over from the crowd, it doesn't go nowhere, of course Vince can change it, Kevin Dunn can change it, and Bruce Pritchard could change it. But they don't even give it that. They literally change it within the first few days or week, if they're lucky. So I would tell him, dude, I love you. You're a great wrestler. You made a great promotion that is a developmental, but it's time to let go and leave. Go to Impact Wrestling. Yes, there might be a couple of people there you know. If you're better off not going to AEW, because you're not going to gain anything there. You want to rebuild something more than you want to be something that's building. You want to create a new NXT. Impact/TNA is the best place to go. If they don't fuck with you and let you have full creative control of the company, that's the best thing to do. That's what I would tell them. But this is just my point of view. I hope you enjoyed this Gump report. This is the only one you're getting for today. And I don't think I'm going to be uploading my Thunder Rosa video. I may do a follow-up video counting on what's going on right now in NWA. Well, the show hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to probably leave it for next week. Because once I see NWA, probably tomorrow, or if I can later tonight, but I don't think so. I'll be able to do it tomorrow. I will be able to see if I need to make a Gump report for what Thunder Rosa or Selena Deeps or anyone else does because of what happened with Thunder Rosa on Impact. See if they talk about it. But that's just me. Peace.